Hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome back. We were holidays. I hope everybody had a lovely holiday break. This is our first business meeting of 2025. Today is Tuesday, January 7th, 2025. I am President Antonia Ferraro Martinelli, and I'm going to call this meeting to order at 6:49. We are coming to you live from 131 Livingston Street. I am going to put a link in the chat for everybody to sign an attendance sheet if you are attending remotely. And I'm going to ask that before we call the roll, I'm going to invite the interpreters to please introduce themselves in all their languages. Let's start with Mandarin.
大家好，如果需要中文翻译，请拨打电话号码347-966-4114，输入会议 ID 号码104-302-316，井号键。再重复一遍，如果需要中文翻译服务，请拨打电话号码347-966-4114，输入会议 ID 号码104-302-316，井号键。Thank you, Mandarin interpreter, finish the announcement.
Thank you. And Spanish?
Yeah. Good evening. The following message is going to be in Spanish, offering interpretation services. Buenas noches. Para escuchar en español una interpretación simultánea, por favor, marque desde su teléfono el número 347-966-4114. Ingrese el código de conferencia o número PIN 600-976-43, símbolo numeral. Repito la información. Para escuchar esta reunión en español, por favor, marque desde su teléfono el número 347-966-4114. Ingrese el código de conferencia o número PIN 600-976-43, símbolo numeral. Por favor, le pedimos que mantengan sus dispositivos en silencio, así evitaremos ruido de fondo. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Bangla?
Thank you. The following message will be for Bangla participants. আপনারা যারা আজকের এই মিটিংটি বাংলায় শুনতে চান, সেক্ষেত্রে আপনাদের ফোন থেকে ডায়াল করবেন 347-966-4114। আমি আবার বলছি 347-966-4114 এবং কনফারেন্স আইডি চাইলে দিতে হবে 598-466-763#। কনফারেন্স আইডিটি হবে 598-466-763#। আপনাদের কোনো প্রশ্ন থাকলে আমাদেরকে করতে পারেন, এছাড়া আপনি অনুগ্রহ করে মিউট করে রাখবেন। ধন্যবাদ। Thank you. Bangla announcement is complete.
Okay, great. And I'll turn it over to our secretary to call the roll.
Okay, Councilmember Antonia Ferraro,
Present.
Councilmember Leslie King,
She is on the call, and if we achieve quorum, she will be able to participate.
okay. And if we don't achieve
Then
quorum,
she's
just absent, okay. So,
all right, remotely or absent, and then we correct it later.
okay. Councilmember Vanessa Gonzalez Huelca.
Present.
Councilmember Nancy Cruz present, Councilmember Katina Rogers.
Present.
Councilmember Jonathan Davis.
Present.
Councilmember Hans Arieta.
He wrote in, he's absent.
Councilmember Donalda Chumney. Councilmember Nancy Randall.
She's absent.
Councilmember Danley Bedell.
Absent.
Councilmember Kwame Egerton.
I guess he might come late, I don't know, yeah. Okay, so at this point, we don't have quorum. And we cannot participate remotely at this moment, but we may be able to come back to that. I will, would you like to read the introduction that Leslie usually reads?
Thank you for coming. So thank you for coming to the District 15 Community Education Council tonight. We appreciate your time and are glad you could join us. For those of you who are new to CEC meetings, there are 32 CECs throughout the city, plus 4 citywide councils. Each CEC represents a community school district, and each is made up of 12 volunteer members, 10 of whom are elected by parents in the district. The remaining members are appointed by the Brooklyn Borough President and 2 high school student members. CEC 15 is a state-mandated public body responsible for ensuring that public school parents and the public have input in educational decisions that are made at the school district level. Our council reviews education policies and advocates for high-quality education that benefit all of our District 15 public elementary and middle school students. CEC 15 serves 36 elementary and middle schools and 1 high school under the oversight of our superintendent. CEC members serve in an advisory role on education matters to the district superintendent, the chancellor of the Department of Education, and to the state and city elected officials. We approve district school zoning lines submitted by the Department of Education. We evaluate our district superintendent, we review the district's educational programs, and we support school leadership teams. We also submit recommendations for the school construction authority's annual capital plan. And as recent amendments to the law, CECs advise the selection of parent coordinators. We actively seek input and feedback from the public and encourage you to visit our website, cecd15.org, and write to us about any issues you may want to address or learn about. Each school has a CEC liaison. All of our names and contact info are available on our website.
Thank you so much, and I'll turn it over to Jonathan Davis.
Great. Tonight's business meeting is in person and will include a public comment period. We will take both remote and in-person comments to gather additional feedback from our families and school community members. You may leave your camera on, or for your own privacy, if you prefer, you may use audio only during the comment period and throughout the meeting. Rules of engagement. When you comment, please comment on the topic. Respect the privacy of others, and please do not include names of children or staff. Guests who make inappropriate comments will be removed from the meeting. During the public comment period, those attending virtually may raise their hand to comment or indicate in the chat that they would like to speak. Those called upon will be unmuted. If you are attending in person, you must sign the guest attendance sheet and indicate whether you would like to comment. Speakers will be called on one at a time and will be allowed 1 minute each for comment. We will hear as many speakers as the time allows. It is possible that not every comment and/or question will be given time, so the best way to get your question answered is always to write to the CEC at cec15@schools.nyc.gov. CEC members will also be given a comment period. Members will be called upon and are each permitted 1 2-minute comment and/or question. If members do not have a comment, they may cede their time to the chair.
Okay, thank you so much. Next on our agenda, we would normally vote on our minutes. We do not have quorum, so we cannot do that at this point. So we will have to move on to our SCA capital plan. At this point, we cannot vote on this either, but we can read through the projects so that there's a public record of it, and then discuss how we wish to rank them, rank our top 5, and hopefully we get another member show up. So I'm going to share my screen so that everybody can see this document. So what you see is our spreadsheet. All of our members have been spending the entire fall liaising with their schools, going to SLT meetings, talking to principals about what their school's fiscal needs are. And so I will just read down the list. At PS 15, there is some remediation of basement flooding required. There's damage, from Sandy. And then there is, a replace and repair PA and clock systems. They're not working properly. There's a requested upgrade to the auditorium, an upgrade to 2 adult single stall bathrooms, an upgrade to the gym wall divider system. And you'll see that 3 of those projects were listed, by Carmine, as potential SEA projects, and they are in red. At, PS 24, they're requesting a retrofit accessible bathrooms on the 1st floor. The sidewalk is lifted where the school buses drop off at the edge of the ramp into the entrance. That is really a DOT issue. They're requesting playground wall needs to be tested for mold, small playground drainage issues. It smells like sewage when it's raining. Big playground turf unsafe, new picnic benches, fences rusted and leaky.
Does it make sense just to, sorry, I mean,
Yeah,
we could read through all of them, but since we can only vote on the ones that are
So you want me to
SEA,
just-
would it make sense just to
just
read the SEA
the-
ones?
Sure,
Is that, do others agree with that?
sure. We can-
Not that these other things don't matter, because they all
Right.
significantly matter. but-
That's fine. I think it would be really great if at some point we could each just report on our schools, because not everything is SCA, but there are some issues at schools that would go on this sort of stuff maybe.
Well, we did,
that.
we did our school reports, at the last couple of meetings.
Okay,
Yeah,
I wasn't here at the last meeting,
Okay.
so,
alright, yeah, we did that.
so then, yes, that makes perfect sense.
If after this, and we don't, and we continue to not have quorum, if you would like to give your school report just to have it on record, you are welcome to do that if the council agrees that that is a good use of time, given that.
It's fine, if we already did it, and I would rather have done it, is it only done at the business meetings? I would rather
No,
have done it at the superintendent.
Oh, okay. We can arrange for that too. We can put it on a calendar meeting and, you can certainly do that.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm just now reading what's in red.
Can I,
Yes.
I'm sorry, and also I'm looking at this on my phone with reading glasses, so I could be missing something. big.
There's a copy in here.
Oh, okay, great. I will look for that too. One. Noting my blindness. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
It seems like there are schools, and maybe it's just that I didn't look close enough or don't understand. But it seems like there are schools for which we don't have any
Yes,
council report.
yes.
Are we still going to try to proceed with voting if we get quorum? If we don't have the full information?
Yes.
Okay, just clarifying. Thank you very much.
If members didn't provide,
Okay,
then we can't do anything. We don't wanna miss the opportunity to provide our input by the deadline.
thank
And
you,
you reached
Antonia.
out to principals as well.
Oh,
right?
yeah, no, I sent like a whole form to all the principals
Right.
in the district
Cool, okay.
and,
Thank
yeah.
Got it. Thank you. I'm sorry to.
No problem. So, okay, so at MS 51. Nancy, that was your school.
Yep.
You spoke about the phone line issue. There's only one workable line, and this has been the case since last year. And they also need an electrical upgrade. They cannot use their ACs and do not have enough outlets to accommodate computer testing for entire school. Now, at the point at which you input this information, Carmine had already done his evaluation. He didn't look at this line again.
Right,
But
somebody read it. It's
I
right
read
there.
it. I did, because
Okay, I was
I
curious.
know
I
electrical,
spoke to Carmen.
electrical upgrades are an SEA thing. And, there was another phone line issue later on the list that Carmine flagged for SEA. So I'm gonna go ahead
Okay,
and just say, why not like throw that out there?
I did speak with him on the phone about it.
Okay. Moving along, 154 has water seeping into the electrical room from exterior stone wall. And Carmine said that was an SCA project. Also at 154, they're requesting an elevator. They also want to build a gym and create an auditorium. And those would definitely have to be SCA projects. At 169, finish exterior work. This is their biggest ask, already years delayed, 2 other projects waiting. And replace phone system, parents cannot reliably call in. And if you see that Carmine flagged that both for SEA and DIIT. Which was why I deduced that the situation at 51 would also be.
He's giving it a one hit, he's not coming back to this list, I honestly think.
No. 295 need bathrooms in or near the 3K and pre-K classrooms. Also, hallway floors are cracked and need replacing. And then moving along to the pre-K center, 50K 767. One of the 3K classroom doors, all were replaced by SCA. There is a class that has a door that opens inside and opens into the area where 3K children wash their hands. It's unsafe. It backs into the kids while they wash their hands. Request a budget line, remove door casing and have a new door open the other way. Change the hinges to the other side, hire a carpenter, please. And then there's the crossing guard issue, which is not, that's separate. And Carmine said he will look into this with SCA. I'm surprised that that's like a whole SCA thing. That seems like just a quick repair, right? Okay, SCA is fine. So that's it. Those are the ones that we have. See in your folder. You have it a printout and
Add a few.
you have to add a few? Okay.
No, I did add a
Oh,
few that you have not read.
that I haven't read. Okay, which,
It should be under, Brooklyn High School of the Arts and Social.
okay,
Same as
6,
for 47.
656. Oh, no, wait.
It's, on.
Yeah, like this would be the gym renovation would probably be SCA, right?
Well, I walked the building with Carmine as well. So we kind of figured out what was the CA and what was something that was in his purview. Anything that was in his purview is not added to this list already because he took care of.
Oh, great.
Yeah, so.
Okay, so should we? Okay, so we got a gym reno, that's definitely gonna be SCA. Several rooms that are located next to each other are too small for them to be useful, but these can be modified by tearing down the walls and creating a large classroom. Okay, so I wonder, is that part of this class, size proposal?
No, he would actually like to use that space for a dance studio.
Oh, okay. All right, waterproofing and drainage problems in the basement has led to severe and extensive damage of equipment. A pump or other structural solutions necessary, yeah. Sounds like a project. The building has an elevator that has been inoperational for many years and could serve the 2 schools in making it more accessible for both the schools. Oh, that's interesting, I didn't know that. Okay.
So it'll be cheaper
Okay.
than putting a new elevator. The elevator is there. It just needs to be fixed or the interior needs to be replaced, but it's a brand new structure.
Can you make that red? I don't know why I can't make that red. For some reason. Yeah, and that is also part of I mean, there's a separate pot of money for
For ADA.
for ADA, yeah, for accessibility. That's something to keep in mind. All right. So,
Antonia,
yes,
this is Leslie. I also added some stuff for the children's school. I
Okay.
don't know if it fits into the CSA or the ResOA or,
okay. 372, right?
yep, down.
Just trying to find it on the list. Oh, it's under, I think I put it under D75.
Yep. There it is.
Okay. Main building bathrooms need replacing, major update. I mean, it could be like a ResOA thing. I've seen them suggest that bathrooms are ResOA, but it could be SCA.
I know
mean,
130 had a bathroom thing that was SCA last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
So-
the lower school, right? And that was when we voted on
That's what we
doing, right?
voted on last year, yeah.
Alright, let's throw
Did it
that
get
in.
fixed?
It had not.
What
I
about,
think,
so,
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, Leslie.
They're also for PS 24, they need, would it be ADA to make their bathrooms compliant, like for ADA compliant for the teacher and the student who are in both in wheelchairs?
I don't know.
Is that
I-
CSA or is that go through something else?
It's definitely SCA, but whether it falls into the pot of money that is just for accessibility or just an SCA capital plan improvement, like, I don't know, but we could throw that on there. Is it on the list?
Yeah.
Carmine flagged it as ResOA.
Oh, he flagged it as ResOA.
Oh, he did?
Oh, okay.
For which
Hmm.
one?
It's line 35. It seems.
Leslie, I'm also looking at the other thing you put down here for 372.
Yeah.
Doors to buildings and throughout need replacing, so they are safe and secure, And then you said the stage needs to be replaced?
Yeah, that's what she said. The stage needs to be replaced.
I wanna put that on a separate line. Because it's such a different project.
Yes, I just didn't know how to add it wouldn't let me add
Oh, okay.
another line when I was doing it. Here, I'll just,
I got it.
Alright, so. I mean, I'm okay with just throwing those in there as potential SCA, because I really don't know, you know? I mean, if the doors in the pre-K require SCA, do the doors throughout the building need?
I think doors were DSF before, weren't they?
It's
Maybe.
probably so particular.
I always thought so. I mean, there was this whole situation at 124 where the doors are so old that you can't see in them. They were all like solid wood and, you know, that's a safety hazard. And getting them replaced, I don't even think they have been replaced. It's like a hot potato. If they want it, if they upset, you know what I mean? Like, they're just like, oh no, it's the other person. And then
Yeah.
it's very frustrating.
Okay, all right, so unless anybody has anything else to add? Yeah,
Nothing to add, but I was
Right.
wondering, there are a number of schools that have multiple SCA possibilities. And I'm just thinking through us figuring out our top 5. Would it make sense to do one per school so that we can distribute SCA recommendations across more schools?
Yeah.
Or do multiple for a single school?
oh.
See what I'm saying? To be strategically, you know, try to select 5 different buildings or schools.
I think it's definitely a better gesture in
Yeah.
my mind to select 5 different schools than to
Yeah,
just
that's what I think too, but that might help us
focus
narrow
on
it
one
down.
school.
I think
Yeah.
that's what we did last year as well.
I think so, yeah, because then we could go to each school and be like, if there are like 4 for a school, which one of the 4
Mhm.
for that school do we think is the most important? And then we can
Sure.
couple that and kind of think strategically.
That sounds great. But we probably have more than 5 schools worth of.
Yeah.
programs. Um. I really, think that phone system, the 2 phone systems are really vital.
Mhm.
So crazy
Yeah,
that this is even something that you're like, that has to be on a list.
I agree.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think that needs to be. So
Right.
we've got one from 51 and then.
I think 154, I think.
$169.
Oh, it's 169.
Okay,
That's
so
right.
169 also has a phone system issue.
I think that for 51, we had put the electrical, and I think that that's their priority.
Oh,
The
yeah,
electric.
for beyond the phone.
The phone is something they want fixed, but not part of the SCA. I don't even think it would fall under it.
Well, I mean,
So
I
they
think
care
the
more about the
electric upgrade,
electrical.
yeah.
we care about the
They're
electrical.
very,
Okay.
I mean,
That's good to know.
it's urgent, the phone thing.
Yeah.
But they have some cell phones now that they have some DOE cell phones that they're using,
Oh.
right? So this is something that needs to be looked at, but in terms of like for SCA, the electric stuff, I think
What
was
do you think
more.
call 911? I mean, I guess 911 tracks my phone.
It's ridiculous, but I don't know that that is even an SCA thing. Is it like
Well,
dealing with the telephone
Carmine-
company?
Carmine said that, well, don't they have to like dig under that school to
The
read?
telephone company has.
The
to.
telephone company has to.
They will only do it if they can install the new, what is it? The new
Fiber
yeah, the new
optic.
fiber optic, right, that's what they're saying. They said they won't make any repairs unless they can put the fiber optics in.
And the principal doesn't want that kind of.
No, I don't think, I think he's like, at his hands, was like, okay. And it's like, they won't do it for some reason.
Okay.
So I think it's just somebody needs to just figure that out. And
Okay.
whereas I think that it's the phone company's job, I believe. Anyway, the electric
So
stuff
the
is,
okay, so 51 would rather have the electrical upgrade.
yes, but the phone line is important, but I'm not sure that it's an SCA thing.
Okay. All right. Anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, this is, I guess, a strategic question too. So the phone system of 169 is definitely important. They asked that we put pressure on the SCA for finishing the job that's already started, but the job is underway. I mean, I don't know that raising that as a priority is particularly helpful in terms of budgeting and things like that, because it's happening. It's just not happening. fast.
But this, what we're doing,
Yeah,
isn't, the goal isn't to put pressure on a
Right.
previously funded project.
which is why I think I agree that phones are more important than
Yeah.
the other thing, even though they express more. Yeah, okay, it's just helping me understand because I haven't done this before.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think the phone system for there is really important, so.
Anybody else want to throw?
I would throw a touch for actually making the building for 447 and, the high school of the arts operational. I mean, the structure is there. And there are 2 schools together and there's so many students, well, I guess, together, schools in the district. So as far as cost benefit analysis, I think it's a fantastic one.
Right. So this is the operational elevator at 656, 447. Anyone else?
There's two people who request elevators, 656, 447, and 154. That's just a note about disability, access for students with disabilities and other people.
I know New Voices needs some sort of air conditioning in their auditorium. I don't know where on the priority that is, but it's pretty hot in there and they don't use it. They use other schools' auditoriums for graduation and everything.
What did he say about that? Did Carmen say that was the air conditioning in 443 was?
I'm trying to remember if he said that Reso A for that.
Cause
But
he's
we
been,
spoke.
yeah, he said Reso A. They've
Reso
been like pushing back on all the air conditioning.
Yeah.
So I,
Yeah, okay. I believe that's what he told me. Reso A.
Yeah. yeah. No, he wrote it down.
So that's now, right? Reso A, like with the borough.
Resume is you're asking the city council member or the borough president
Right.
for a grant.
And that's in January, right?
Yeah, so after we do this, I'm sending like a separate thing to all of those electeds requesting resume projects.
So you'll compile the list of
Yeah.
these things that have, so I should
If
put
you
Reso
look,
A on the
if
side.
you look below,
Yeah.
you'll see that there are some tabs.
DSF requests.
There's DSF requests and there's resume, and I've taken all of the resume things and I've moved it to that tab. And I've, organized it by the council member,
Thank you.
and that is going to go to the council member, and the whole thing goes to the borough president.
Okay. That looks like my stuff got in there even, so you just did that, you just did this.
I did that a couple of days ago.
Oh, okay, so my stuff was in
Monday,
there.
I did that
I
Monday.
have another question, this is like, I don't know if this falls under Reso A, but I know that at 118, they had an issue with the, water coming seeping into the walls, they like broken the window, like, that's your school now, right?
It is my school.
Has that been fixed?
They haven't,
Because the weather's been,
I kept asking
they're gonna
them
get mold.
for,
It's gonna be
I kept
ugly.
asking them for, a time to come visit. I'm supposed to go visit them next week. So, they haven't given me anything.
okay, that's gonna wind up being a very expensive thing, I see it already, it's gonna be mold.
I asked them repeatedly for, I said, even if you can't make time to meet, just send me what you need, but
Alright, I'll talk with you about that offline. Alright,
okay, so we've got an operational elevator, we've got an electrical upgrade at 51, we've got a phone system at 169. Do you wanna prioritize the rest of the elevators? You wanna go a different direction, bathrooms?
There's
think
water problems in
Water
Yeah,
problems.
I was
156 and
looking
154.
Okay, yes, 154, and what was the other one?
656.
656. Water and water, yeah.
what do you mean water problem?
The bathrooms of 35,
There's
having
like
no
different-
bathrooms at pre-K and pre-K.
Leakage?
Yeah.
They have no bathrooms for pre-K, and 3K. That is pretty serious.
Can we move the elevators to
Water,
ADA?
this one is water seeping.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to look at those
Stone wall,
all
it's
separately anyway.
It's
So could we send that these are our top 5
And 656
and then here are ones
is
that we
all their
believe are
equipment is
SCA, but
getting
are-
ruined.
or
They should
ADA
prioritize.
related?
I'm gonna put the top 5,
Yeah,
then I'm gonna put all the rest of them.
right. I feel like if we say like, we explicitly did not include these because these should be covered by ADA.
Severe
Right.
and extensive
Right.
damage to
So-
equipment.
Do you get what I'm
Other
saying?
Five
structures.
I hear what you're saying.
Okay, or 5+, like here's 5 plus
That
ADA.
one's the
Right.
high school for the arts.
Because we shouldn't have to include the
And-
ADA.
No, we
because-
shouldn't, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't have.
Just
to
worry
do
that, and we don't know how the budget, like, we're just taking it this year.
Yeah,
We have this, we just specifically told, don't waste your top 5 on ADA stuff,
Right.
because that's a separate
right.
thing. So, okay, so
So
But
can we just-
also that we didn't know how the budget works for elevators or ADA related projects, and we were concerned that some of them might be left behind if we didn't include it.
Yeah.
As an SCA project.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
Well, I mean, so we've got 2 for 5. We've got 2 projects here for 656. We've got their water issue and the operable elevator.
well, the elevator is for both, there's both of
Right,
those.
okay. For both of the schools.
Should we prioritize water issues like that? Sounds
Yeah.
urgent,
yeah,
Right.
where it's gonna increase costs if we don't address it.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
I agree. And I still believe I don't know, I still don't think we should have to include the ADA ones. I think elevators should be just a list of these items saying,
Yeah, I
these
agree.
are ADA issues, these need to be taken care of, this is not our top 5, but these
Right.
should be top of your priority list for ADA.
And it should be noted, right?
And it should be noted.
I agree.
Okay,
I think we should put the
Um,
urgent ones. Water is an
okay.
urgent one.
all right. I do like the 295 pre-K through K bathrooms. That's pretty
Yeah,
important to have, especially since your school has recently added a number of new pre-K seats. They definitely need that. So, all right, so we're nixing the elevator.
not
Okay,
mixing,
so not
but we
mixing,
are.
The-
Separate ADA
That's,
list.
yeah, okay. All right, we're gonna, I'm gonna start putting these into this other tab listed as vote. And
Should we
it
create
breaks,
an ADA
it breaks my heart.
Into an ADA tab.
Should we create an ADA tab?
Well, I can just put it under the same. Well, here's the thing. What happens is Shanice takes all this and she has to use their, like, very finicky, format. They have this document that she has to input this all into. And I don't know that there is a good way through their system to sort of do what you want to do with these 88 projects.
But, so there's also the accessibility space planning,
Mm-hmm.
right, which
Mhm.
Carmine listed that.
Right, we could send him.
Can we just send the Office of Accessibility Space Planning and Carmine the list of all of those?
Mhm. Alright, so you want me to make a separate document?
Do others agree with that? Is that,
How many projects do we have on our priority so far? Outside of the ADA related ones?
I didn't count them up. I mean, you can see.
No, on the priority list that we just made.
5, not counting the operational elevator.
Okay.
So I'm gonna start, inputting these in here. Is there an order that you want these 5 in? I don't know that it matters. I don't know that one means one. Cause they look at them and they just say, oh, this isn't possible.
yeah,
We can't do that. Like, I don't know that we're like ranking them necessarily.
There's somebody in the chat saying, can you repeat which 5?
Oh, yes, we will. I'm gonna repeat them all. I'm just gonna input them in. And then I will definitely repeat them.
do we need to vote to approve this for Shanice to submit them?
Yes.
I figured that was the answer, but
That's how we roll.
And when is this, what is the deadline? Remind us, please.
17.
and when's our next meeting?
Not until the end of the
20.
month.
And I missed it again.
And can we vote? We can't vote,
I could call a special session for next week.
and it has to be in person.
Can it be here for half an hour?
It could be like
I'll come to it
any
if that's the case.
time of day. It doesn't have to be at night. It could be a very quick special session on any day of the week before the 17th. What date of the week is the 17th?
Friday.
Friday?
And we need to get Shanice and.
Shanice, yeah, that's the other problem. Shanice needs, enough time to, input all this into that very finicky document.
So Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday at the latest, I'll say. And then people will have to commit to.
Right.
Right, 7 people would have to commit to come.
I'll commit to coming if necessary, but I cannot do it during the daytime.
Do you want me to text Kwame, see if he's still maybe?
I texted him.
He
earlier,
did.
didn't hear it, yeah.
Leslie says she can be here next Tuesday.
Just give me a second to organize all those.
Makes me want to write a resolution and be like, hey, basic repairs are not to be prioritized by education councils.
Yeah.
We trust with a $38 billion budget that you all will be able to prevent people from being electrocuted in their workplaces.
Do we trust?
I mean,
Should be able to.
I no longer do, Vanessa, and thank you for the quasi rhetorical question. This latest round of leaders does not inspire confidence, sadly. I'm really astounded by what's on this list this year. Like last year, we were having honestly what I thought was like a kind of really rich ideological debate. Not debate, but like discussion about like, which is really crucial? Is it like enhancing performance spaces and community gathering spots and whatever for kids and families? Or is it that these schools really need elevators so that kids with disabilities can attend them, you know? And that was like a really active discussion. And this year's discussion is like, gee, should we stop, you know, should the school have more than one operating phone line?
Yeah.
You know, I don't
What
know.
about both?
Right, I mean, like, why not, what are we doing? Like, what's going on?
These things
Templeton is
become
different from
more
how it was
expensive.
last year
Yeah.
too, because I don't have any.
Well, maybe the
So it's
story
gonna
that
become a bigger
the big
expense, which
waves
is
have
like.
been fixed.
Yeah, a
and
waste
the smaller
that
things
is
are coming
just
afloat.
Ridiculous.
Hopefully.
Everyone been handling this whole, we cannot do, they like raised all the money to buy the ACs, right? Like a long time ago, and they haven't even been able to install them. For a long time.
Well, they have a few ACs.
Okay.
They don't have everything, like the gym has no AC.
Okay.
Like that school needs an HVAC system.
Right,
That's
right.
Another, I'm not even mentioning that. They need an HVAC eventually. That's more efficient. But yes, with the whole, like the testing, and everything, they can't hook up enough computers, charge enough computers. They don't have ACs in lots of spaces. So right now it's ACs. They're like plugging the holes. But
All right, so I'm just gonna read these top 5. People at home, you can see them, on the screen. We've got at high school, the arts, a waterproofing and drainage problem in the basement that has led to severe and extensive damage of equipment. They need a pump or other structural solutions. 154 has water seeping into the electrical room from the exterior stone wall.
What is page 16 and 47?
They offered that, so when you look in the, you go to the DOE website for each school, they have an architectural, report on each building. And I think it's photographed and detailed on page 16. Oh, yeah, so, okay, 51, electrical upgrade, they can't use their ACs and they don't have enough outlets to accommodate computer testing for the entire school. 169, replace their phone system, parents cannot reliably call in. And 295 needs bathrooms near their 3K and pre-K classrooms. So. Yes.
Sorry, I have a question about the 154 one.
Mm.
I remember you mentioning that if things were already flagged from prior years, that we weren't meant to flag them again. So if it's already in their architectural report.
Is it flagged to the SCA? I don't know
I
that
don't
that
know.
means that it's flagged to the SCA.
Okay. Got it.
I don't know that those two things mean the same thing.
Okay.
But Carmine did,
Okay, right.
say it was an SCA project.
It's so great.
Yeah, too bad we don't have quorum. I do wanna go to public comment, to
Let's do
give them an opportunity to weigh in.
So let's go to those joining us via Zoom. Are there any comments or questions about the SCA priority list?
Make sure we go to the
Yeah.
the translation. line.
Yeah, that's where I was going next. Is there anybody in the Mandarin line?
No one from the Mandarin line.
Anybody from the Bangla line?
No question from Bangla line yet.
Any questions from the Spanish line?
There are no questions in the Spanish line.
There's nobody here in person. I feel like we've already done
Yeah, we sort of,
CEC
yeah.
question, comment.
All right, well, do we want to look at a date to potentially call?
Could we do a doodle with everybody? Cause I feel like we need to hear from the
Okay,
others who
people
aren't
will-
here.
Yeah, okay.
And maybe do some times that are during the day and some in the evening to see.
Is there a time during the day that's better for people? Like lunchtime, like early morning, like
Morning or lunchtime work for me most days,
After the
depending on the
kids,
day.
yeah. And after the kids after school, I'm in. Whatever.
okay.
I cannot
You
do
cannot.
it during the
You
Daytime.
can't do it during the daytime at all. Yeah, and you're one of the people who routinely shows up to meetings, so. So,
Are you able to during the day?
Yeah, lunchtime especially would be pretty doable.
And Leslie, I don't know.
yeah,
Leslie, could you make it during the day?
she works too, I think.
She said Tuesday, and Tuesday is the one day I don't think I can do during the day, but.
And I might be able to do Thursday, Tuesday or Thursday, or evenings are better.
Evenings are-
Wednesday I can't do, but Monday and Tuesday I could do. Monday or Tuesday
Mhm.
evening.
Okay, so I think it sounds like we need to just focus on evenings, unfortunately. All right, so I'll do a doodle poll.
And it could be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Essentially.
No,
Yeah.
It's just showing up to
Yeah,
vote.
I'm happy to give people rides if they need as well.
Thank you.
Make it, you know what I mean? So you're not spending like hours getting to there.
Yeah. Thank you, Leslie. All right, so I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. I'm just looking at the comments on the side. So I will send out a doodle poll as soon as I get home and we'll try and call a special session. Katina, do you wanna give the treasurer's report real quick?
Sure. So there should be a copy in the folder as well. You can see the expenditures so far, it's mostly food for meetings and some member reimbursements. Everything is tracking, totally fine with the budget. We have spent about 4,500 so far out of the 25,000 that's allocated for the year. We know we'll have expenditures coming up for the legislative breakfast, which I think Antonio is going to be talking about in a minute. And we've got some incoming reimbursements that I know some members are working through the paperwork for, so those will be coming through as well. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Shanice just sent me some end of year deadlines that we should be aware of. Wednesday, the January 22nd is the last day for computer technology, furniture, Galaxy modifications. I don't foresee us needing any technology. Then February 14th is the last day. Now, I don't know what the distinction here is. The last day for all computer technology orders, what's the difference between, budget modifications versus orders? Okay, so we could still order technology until February 14th, but we cannot modify our budget after the 22nd of January. March 3rd is the last day for all OTPS budget modifications in Galaxy.
Did we allocate for technology? Because if we're not gonna use it, should we shift that to something else?
Look at that. We'd have to vote on.
Oh, we need to vote, we can vote on that during our special session.
Well, then you preview all this
Yeah.
stuff. I feel like there's usually 1,000 in there or something.
Oh. 3,500 for technology, it looks like,
Education.
You gotta look at the
Software.
amendment
Oh.
below.
Sorry.
It's
Oh.
2,463 for technology.
For laptop, Shanice, we don't have any tech needs,
At the moment, no. Nope,
and you don't foresee any.
no. Unless y'all wanna buy some more.
I don't.
I don't think you can get a break.
And you could certainly, if you wanna, write up another amendment to the budget that moves that line somewhere, you can move it to member reimbursements, you can move it to District 15 family and student events, and we can give more money to the district for their, their theater stuff. And
Yeah, I have a question actually about like how funds can be used, like what's permissible,
it's very
because,
complicated.
yeah, I'm sure. But if there's more available than we tend to use, because it seems like our spending is pretty conservative.
Yeah.
Is there any way we can get some of that money into the hands of schools?
Nope.
We cannot.
Nope. I mean, there was like one year that we asked if we could provide books,
Yeah.
and we were told no.
Wow. What a bummer.
It just all goes back to the DOE.
Yeah.
But if we use it on events,
Right.
district events that schools attend and students, like
Yeah.
that's school adjacent.
Right.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
like-
Mhm,
Yeah, no,
for sure.
we can, they just have to, and that is something like, I need you to get in touch with Neil about that, he has not,
Yeah, given a date
yeah,
on the list.
because we have to spend that money for, before April 11th, because April 11th is the last day for all purchase orders. So Neil needs to let us know, what he wants us to buy for their events.
Mhm.
And then the last day for, P card use is June 13th. So yeah, okay, so, Katina, I guess,
Yeah,
think about if you wanna amend this, does anybody have any input for Katina? You know, it sounds like maybe you wanted to move it to district events,
I think that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would, sounds great.
okay,
Great.
okay,
Yeah.
all right. So we're gonna get a budget amendment.
Are there any other line items that we're definitely not using, like technology?
P card is kind of a catch-all.
You can only put $5,000 on the P card. I wish they would allow us to put more money
Mm.
on the P card, but they
Yeah.
will not.
And then member reimbursement is the most significant bucket, and we won't know, you know, how much of that is gonna be utilized until closer to the end of the year. The rest are all pretty modest. I mean, there's $1,000 for office supplies. I know we've bought some. Actually, I don't know if anything's been in that category. Mhm. Like the owl stuff, that ended up going through as a reimbursement, right?
This extension mic, I had to buy, myself because it wasn't available through, and when I got reimbursed on the owls, because it wasn't available through DOE.
Payment, the method of payment, yeah.
So is office, do you think you'll use the office supplies then? Yeah, okay, but later, like once P card is used out, or,
Oh, no,
oh,
before then,
okay,
probably should move money into office supplies, if it's only 1,000,
okay.
yeah.
How much do you think? You might
Maybe
need
another
it.
1,000. I'm gonna go to input. They need to get folders and ink.
If you wanna like price that out and let me know how much you think you'll need, then I could write a resolution moving, or an amendment moving that amount to office supplies and the rest of this week for them.
Yep, that sounds good. And you can just follow the format there.
Okay.
To do that. Okay, I think that's, all right, I'm gonna move on to legislative breakfast. Okay, so as you know, we're holding a legislative breakfast on Friday, January 24th. I've been, talking a lot to the President's Council presidents, to solicit speakers, parent speakers. I'm continuing to develop that agenda. We have some really nice food donations, thanks to Katina. She, reached out to Russ and Daughters and and they're donating some food.
You know people there?
Mhm.
People that know.
And we also have a donation from Chobani that Nancy Randall is working on. And I also received some banned book donations from Books Are Magic. So we'll be
Yay,
raffling
that's
those
great.
off. That'll be fun. We're continuing to do our outreach to the elected officials to confirm their attendance. I hope, all of our members are able to attend. I'm gonna be there with Shanice at 8:30 in the morning to begin setting up. You're all welcome to come early, to help with that. The room opens for guests at 9:45 in the morning, and the speakers should begin about 10:15. Borough President Reynoso is gonna give opening remarks. And I will introduce you all at the top, and you can just come up and, you know, state who you are and just say what schools you liaise with. No big deal. And that's it. That's all I have to report there. We do have a resolution on this agenda. I ask for your counsel on how to proceed with that, since we cannot vote on it. Do you think I should read it, or? We do have somebody, from PS 15 who came specifically to, his name is Sam Coleman, came to speak about this. So I kind of feel like I should, at least give him the opportunity to speak about it.
I'm sure.
Hello. I think so, whatever that was.
I think it was me.
This is the quiet one with the computer.
Never unmuted myself. Somehow my computer's unmuted now. I apologize.
It's okay. All right, so, I'm gonna put the resolution on the screen. And I'm gonna share my screen, and I'm gonna ask Sam to unmute himself and just to share a little bit about what prompted this resolution. Sam, are you there?
Yep. Hi, everybody. Thanks for
How are
having me.
you?
So this resolution is from a couple months ago, I think, or yeah, maybe it was definitely before the break, maybe November, December. So I don't know if folks know, but there's it's actually, we were wrong. It's funny, and now I'm looking at this. It's not, it turns out it is not a DHS shelter. And we're a little bit confused as to who is in charge of it, but it turns out it's not a DHS shelter, but they turned this, it was a men's shelter that was turned into a family shelter with the migrant influx. And so in the fall of 2023, I'm a teacher at PS 15, and I'm on the SLT. And we got, I don't know, 20 or 30 families kind of over the course of a month or two that came from the shelter to the school. We have a dual language program. I'm a dual language teacher. And these are all Spanish speaking families, and the students all ended up in the dual language program, which was great for the kids, it was great for the families, it was great for us. And as time went on, there were just a couple of times it kind of came up that there would be these scares where they were, at some point, I guess it was over the summer, families received these letters. I mean, I don't know how much people know or really want me to go into how shady the whole shelter situation is, but it was clear that these were just kind of scare tactics. Then we would do a little digging, and it turned out, they got these letters that were saying things like, well, in 60 days, you're going to get a letter that says you're going to be out in 60 days. And it was kind of a whole series of sort of what seemed pretty clearly just kind of scare tactics to try and get people out. So we wrote the resolution, and basically our position then and now, things are even worse, and it's a whole other situation. But we just wanted to kind of raise up that, for any sort of stability for these kids, let alone for their families, the idea of removing them from the shelter, they were sort of threatening to move them out of the shelter and then reassign them to another shelter, and it was just, kind of lunacy. where these kids were the one stable thing in their lives was school. And our school does a really great job with, we were doing, it was a good fit for everybody. So we wrote this resolution to try to just force whoever is in charge, and even that, it's very hard to, these systems are quite opaque, just to make it so that they couldn't remove them. If you had a kid in a school and the school was nearby the shelter, you can't remove a family from that shelter just to move them to another shelter simply because you want to get them out of the shelter system. So that was then. At the moment, I don't know if folks know, but this is the shelter. I don't know if people know. It's the Brooklyn Motor Inn. It's kind of right. It's on the Red Hook side of the highway, kind of right by the entrance to the tunnel. Just recently, and this is just a new development, the social worker from the hotel called a meeting for all the families and basically first told them they were going to have to leave by January 13th. This was like a couple weeks ago. It was over the break, I guess. You're going to have to leave by January 13th, at the very latest, January 20th, which the date then was like, oh, I see what's happening here. And then, so parents came to us and we said, wait a second. That doesn't make any sense. So we got in touch with Alexa Viles' office, and she dug around and turned out this was complete nonsense. And they said this was not true at all. But the one thing that is true, or it seems to be true as we dug around more, since it is not a DHS shelter, according to at least Aviles' as she dug around and talked to DHS and whatever she did, because of whatever quasi-governmental, quasi-private, whatever the deal is, it's a contract. We can't even figure that, or I can't figure that out. They are not apparently protected under sanctuary city status. So what they told the residents was, if ICE shows up, we can't and won't stop them from coming in to the shelter. So as you might imagine, the families were completely freaked out. Are completely freaked out. So now we're in a new phase where we are trying to help people relocate. I mean, people really, a lot of the families just feel like they need to get out as quickly as possible before January 20th. So, I mean, this resolution is good, and hopefully it gets passed, and in the future, this would be a great thing. But in terms of our current situation, at this point, what we need is money. We're raising, we just put out a GoFundMe. Actually, we just put it out this morning, and we're up to almost $10,000, which is great. We're looking to just support families. For a lot of families, they've got one person in the family is working, but they don't have a lot of money coming in. And as they're looking at apartments, they're like, we can't, we might be able to pay the rent, but there's no way we could pay a first and last month and a deposit. So we're just trying to raise money to kind of help people if there's any way to get them into a more stable living situation. Yes, I can share the GoFundMe link.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, thank you.
Thank you.
Share that link. And if you would like us to do an e-blast with that GoFundMe page, please just send me the text. And I'll make sure that we send it out from our CEC email. So
yes, we'd
what's
appreciate
that?
That would be great.
You have my email because we've been communicating.
Yes.
So I just want to wrap my head around this for a minute. So since it's not a DHS shelter, who runs the shelter? What kind of shelter is this? It's
I mean, I'm glad you asked. I mean, it's a whole. I mean, I don't know. We can't. It's unbelievable how hard it is to get. I mean, this entire thing has just been a lesson in government obfuscation and just it's wild. We don't know. I mean, I think I'm assuming it's some sort of contract with a company, and as a result, it's not covered under sanctuary. I don't know why, but this is what we trust Aviles' office. We trust her.
There's a middleman here. It shouldn't matter if it's private or public.
So churches
It's a
still,
city.
so churches are a special designation, is that way if you are in a church, ICE can't come in there? Is that the case? Yeah. So it's DHS and churches? I thought it was New York.
I thought it was the whole city.
But it was the whole city too.
I wonder if we should
That's
verify that.
fascinating.
Do you have verification that that is accurate information?
I mean, somebody point me to the direction where one can get accurate information in 2024 or now 2025. I mean, you know, you got to go with who you trust. So I trust Alexa Viles. I trust her office. This is what this is what she's telling us. I mean, if someone gets better, different information, we're open, you know, that, but yeah, I mean, it's very strange. It turns out what we were told was a store, like a completely private store, is protected. Any government office that has government workers, government agency is totally protected. But since this is some sort of in the middle, it's not protected. You know, also to be honest, I mean, personally, my sense of what's going to happen starting January 20th is they're going to do whatever they want. I mean, Trump is going to do what he wants, and then he'll just wait till the courts tell him to stop. So, I mean, whether or not there's a law, whatever, I don't actually think anyone is probably protected between January 20th and a couple of months that it takes the courts to catch up with whatever lunacy is happening. So if I were these families, I wouldn't, they're sitting ducks, right? Like ICE knows where they are. They're sitting in this hotel. They can just come get them, and who's going to stop them, really? So sanctuary city or not, but then according to whatever Aviles found out, it's not even covered under that. So, you know, most of the families that are in our schools still, and a lot of people have left. I mean, in the last 2 weeks, we've lost half of our families from the shelter.
Oh, wow.
You know, people are relocating to other states. You know, basically it's like anyone who has family anywhere is just getting out and going and being, yeah.
This is what happened the first go around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the Brooklyn Motor Inn. I don't know if it has,
Yes.
I don't know if it has another designation. But yeah, it's at 140 Hamilton. So yeah, I mean, it's a complete nightmare. I mean, and the other thing, and this, I mean, I don't know how much folks know, but the way these families have been treated is like, I mean, do you know that they're human beings? I mean, it's wild. It's wild. Like they go into their room at 2 a.m. and tear stuff up looking for contraband, which includes things like a toaster oven. I mean, it's remarkable. It's wild. The way people are being treated, it's hard to actually believe, or maybe it's not. Anyway, so this is, you know, so we wrote this resolution just as kind of like, you know, trying to raise this up so at least, you know, I don't know, somebody realizes how people are being treated in this system. And, you know, just from the perspective of as a teacher, it's like, you know, these kids have been through so much. I mean, these are almost all families who came from mostly South America. So they all walked across the Darien Gap, you know, between Panama and Colombia. Like these kids have just been through it, and obviously the parents too. But anyway, so that's the short version. Yeah, I mean, and this.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, thank you for giving us that valuable context. I'm sad that we don't have quorum tonight, that we can't vote on it. Obviously, I'll put it on the next agenda. We'll just sort of remove the word DHS and just identify it as a shelter without identifying the type of shelter. And please do send me some text with the GoFundMe link so we can get that out. And I really hope somebody from PS 15 can come speak to this at our legislative breakfast. I've been in touch with Catherine Singh about that, so hopefully her or another parent.
Yeah.
We do have translation at the legislative breakfast, so if a parent in these circumstances were brave enough to speak, they would have translation. I know that putting yourself out there is often not a great idea, but if they wanted to, we have the support for them.
Yeah.
I just wanted to.
Yeah. Hold on, a member who wants to comment.
Yeah, sorry, during this talk, I reached out to my cousin who works in this realm. And he said that he's gonna look into who actually runs it, but he believes that it's probably either Cherokee, Garner, or one of two other companies that are running a lot of these facilities, and that he said that really what they want is for families to move. Like it's a part of what is happening is what they want
Right,
to happen.
it's by design.
It's by design.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give Sam's email to you, Jonathan, if you want to.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the two of you in touch.
Is there a financial incentive here? Like, do they get?
I don't know, I guess the city, my cousin is just writing more. He said that ICE is allowed in certain sites, but with supervision. It's why the city closed 27 of these sites so far. That were 27 that were super easy for ICE to access. And these companies are going through trainings now, but I don't know what those trainings are.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much, Sam.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you all.
Wow,
So-
it's so wild.
Yeah. Yeah.
Leslie's wondering if we could vote on the resolution,
At the special
special
session,
session.
we can, if we get quorum. This special session is getting to be
Meeting.
a little bit, action packed. All right, I'll put a note,
We would just need to revise it to say who actually runs it, right? Because it says DHS.
well, I was just gonna take out DHS.
Just take out DHS.
Because I don't know. Okay, next on the agenda, I wanted to just briefly let you guys know that, Borough President Antonio Reynoso is looking to fill one district-wide priority per district. And he is looking for suggestions. So think about what that could be. And let me know. We have monthly meetings with all the BP representatives, and that's at the last week of the month. So
Would this be like something from the school requests or district
it
priority,
could
something
really be
completely
anything. So
different?
he's really, right now, he's really interested in sensory rooms, but we have a sensory room. He actually used our sensory room at 958 as a model for what he's trying to do in other districts in Brooklyn. So that's one thing that he's really prioritizing. So it doesn't have to be from our SAA, it could really be anything. So.
And would it be something that could roll out in all the schools across the district, or
Potentially.
like what is the scope?
Yeah, this is very big.
He didn't give me a very clear scope. It could be something that you rolled out across the district.
Is it always a tangible thing, or can it be like he wants to establish a seal of bioliteracy at every high school, like a program that
Could be that.
something, okay, got it. Like a tangible programmatic thing. Or an intangible, but a programmatic thing.
Right, could be. This, obviously we can't vote on this, but, there is an opportunity to have a free workshop series, run by this organization here it's called Fun Local. And it's in your little folder. And, they offer 5 different workshops. They would be completely for free. We would just provide translation, and we'd open the Zoom link and we do the promotion, and notice the public and introduce the speaker and just sort of manage the comments. And the 5 different workshops are the basics of the US immigration system and current trends, legal orientation on the asylum process, legal orientation on work authorization process, know your rights with ICE, access to higher education and the New York State Dream Act. So this is, timely, and free, so we wouldn't have to put out a request for proposals, which is something that I learned that any of these workshops that we tried to do, we would have to put out a request for proposals and get bids. So the whole workshop series process it's a big project for somebody. So we can't vote to sponsor this right now or anything, but if you would like to take this on to just facilitate and administer this workshop, let me know. And
So we can add that to the special session. All right, just making sure. And I mean, it sounds like a no-brainer, right?
yeah,
Okay.
it's free and we just pick one of them and
Do they want a mail-in list of this? Like, what do they want?
they're just, I don't think they want anything. I think they're just like a nonprofit. I mean, yeah, they didn't, I spoke to the woman. She didn't want anything. The only thing she was like, yeah, I don't have access to translation. Can you guys provide translation? I was like, I think we could probably do that. Like, so, all right, I don't have any old business or new business. So unless you all have something you would like to talk about, I am going to adjourn this meeting at 8:10. Right, is that okay?
Yeah, that
All right.
sounds great. Dave, this is gonna be so happy. We'll get the doodle poll, yes, tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yes. Did anyone second it?
I raised my hand
Okay.
quietly, so I wasn't sure if it was allowed to
Yeah, yes.
vote on anything like that.
All right.